Hello and welcome back. This is part 5. I know in the previous video I said part 3, but the previous video is part 4. My name is Eric Peterson and I'm the owner of Shackle and this YouTube channel. And now we're going to dig into the programming and I'm going to show you what I've done. So to start off with, this is the website that we're going to recreate, which is mine. I own this website and I own the new version of the website as well. So I started to develop the navigation, and I done a pretty good job because this is the new website and it doesn't really look nice, but this is the way I develop the sign, is that the blocks that I develop I just put a random color around them so I see how they look like. And I'm actually going to show you that it's responsive, but it's not as responsive as it should be. As you can see, at around here we should have a drop-down navigation, and if you see here, if I hover, they change color, and you can see the colors are a pretty good combo together. I got the colors from Adobe Color CC, and as you can see, the links don't have the right color, only the hover. So in the code, I've commented out the colors. So I'm going to remove the comments. Remove that one. Just save. Same with this one. Same here. So I'm just going to remove some colors. And I think, let's see. Right, let's see how this works, how this looks. Okay, it looks better, but you can see some colors are still there. And I believe it's that one, lime and violet. So before I reload, I understand that the blocks are working fine together, as you can see with the color and the border. Okay, I forgot someone. One more. Background color, remove that one. Antique white, right. Right, as you can see, it's pretty similar. It's not as nice. There are some things I should change. But for now, that's what I wanted to do, because I wanted to have the similar design. I didn't want it to be perfect, but this is basically what I wanted it to look like. And then I have a homepage. I do have a few more views, but I haven't developed them. But we can try and validate. So now I developed it a bit. I'm going to validate. And hopefully there's no error. No warnings or no error. That's perfect. Now errors are bad. And warnings are not good, but they're not bad as well. I mean, they are not bad, but they're still not good. And basically what this validation means is that if you have some parts of your HTML code or attributes or whatever that is invalid, that's illegal, you get an error or warning. And the reason why warning and errors are bad is because if you misuse the elements, it might still look nice on your website. You might think like there's no difference, it still works. And that's because if you have another device, if you have like a mobile device, or you're running an older version of the of a browser, it may actually cause visual impairments. So maybe the website cannot be used because they're like a huge block or something just blocking off the links and everything. So it can break the browser, or it just can break the website. So if you have no errors or no warnings, it's kinda guaranteed that it's going to work on all devices and browsers. Some older version of browsers don't really like the newer HTML5 code and elements and stylings and so on. But most devices have like very new versions of the browser. So if you see no errors and you know that you're using HTML5 code and attributes that are supported, then you're fine. Then you don't need to worry. Right. You can see it's similar, but here the links are bigger, and the text are a bit more further down, and these should be more to the right. And I actually think that this design looks better, so I'm going to follow this one, but not now because I have created what I wanted to create, and I'm just going to continue working on the rest of the website. But I need to go into the code. The CSS is not really much to say. You add attributes basically, add values, and it's important when you develop the styling. For example, this is the home page. I don't really do much on this one, so let's just go to below title. This is the navigation, and it's important that you understand how to create structure with HTML5. And if you create smart structure and you add smart styling, you can actually create responsive web design super easy. You may think that responsive is hard because it needs to be up to par to every width and every device and every screen and so on. But if you have a smart structure and you develop smart responsive design, it's actually pretty easy to create responsive design. And for a new beginner, HTML is pretty simple once you learn what the elements are. For example, nav is it just says that this is navigation. Div doesn't really mean anything, but I like to say that div is a box that you put elements in, and p is just a paragraph tag, which is text. And I'm going to use something called a tag anchor link, which is basically a hyperlink. So the a tag is just says that between the start closing tag, it's a link. And CSS can be pretty annoying if you're a new beginner to web design and web development. And I have my template. So as you can see, if I open above title and footer, as you can see at the top, I link the template above title, which is this one. Doc type HTML, language, HTML here, head. And I actually don't close the head because I want to add title and the description tag. And then I add something called below title templates. And it's this one. Now I have a closest tag for the head, and now the body starts. And since you want the navigation for every page, you add it in this template, and then you just link in that template to every website. So basically every website has this line, and the last one. So above title, below title, and footer. And the footer isn't really much. It's going to be like the navigation, just a lot of links and stuff. And the footer I'm going to use is going to be from my company's main website, shackledevelopers.com. I really like that footer because it's informative, so I'm going to reuse that one. I can't close, never mind. And I have added Goblin Economist views, Goblin Economist templates, Goblin Economist CSS, and I have a few views here. All of them looks like the homepage. If I go to login, it just says login instead, so it isn't really much to speak about. But understand, I can't really close this. Okay, now it works, because I don't really need tabs. I just need the CSS. And I added some font family to the body, and I specified what one EM font size is, and that's 20 pixels. So basically this just puts a default value for for the font size. So if I would type 40 pixel, 1 EM would equal to 40 pixel. But I have 20 pixel now, so 2 EM would equal to 40 pixels. And in the app.js, this is probably where the magic happened, and I commented out some stuff here that I'm not using, but I will use. I've actually said to the backend here that here, instead of having the folder views, I set that instead of views, the name is going to be Goblin Economist views, because otherwise, because the programming or like the backend, or I'm not too sure what I should call it, but let's just say that the framework looks for something called views, but I don't want that name. I want to have Goblin Economist dash views. I'm not too sure I should explain this line, but instead of linking, for example, in above title, so instead of typing the folder name / the file name, I use type / the file name. So that's basically what this line does. I don't need to type the folder. And of course, the view engine is EJS. So I've added a few get route here, get routes, which I explained in my documentation video, the part 4, the previous part. And it's not really much to say, it's just that it listens for /register. So if I would go to /methods, the navigation is still here and it says methods, but the styling here is gone, which is because this is a new new page. And I go back to the start page, we get the home page back. So this is just, I've added the views that I'm going to use, and I'm probably going to use more of the views, but for now I added these ones, because when I develop the backend, I'm going to start using the post and the user profile and so on. But I'm doing the simple steps first. I am still pretty new to Node.js. I probably developed Node.js back and forth for like half a year. I studied .NET earlier, so like for me to learn Node.js, it was really easy and really fast. But some of the things I can't really explain. All I can really say for this one is that I don't need to type which folder I want to use. It just automatically uses that folder. And of course, if you want to learn like what every word mean and how they're used, like extra static with the parameters, if you want to learn how that works, there's a lot of documentation out there. But I can't really explain it, I'm afraid, but I know how it works, kind of. And for the CSS, which is the last thing I'm going to talk about before the end of this video, if I can open reset. Reset.css just resets everything, so because if you don't use the reset CSS, elements have a default styling, and in here I reset everything, so all elements that will be ever created have no styling whatsoever. So first I reset everything and then I add my own styling. I think this is lagging. I can't click on this. Can I open it? Okay, now I can. So I like to create my own styling because I am on the hunt, which is probably going to take me a few years, but I'm on the hunt to find a smart solution to create a responsive web design and write like a huge document about it. I've already probably 7,000 words or something in the document that I'm going to develop further, where I explain like web design concepts and the package launch and everything around it. I should probably explain that document in another video, because there's a lot to it. And yeah, in this video I did a lot, to be honest. I think I added a package as well. I think I added path which you type npm install path -- save. So really in this video I added views and I added some code. I added mostly design to the front page. Looks pretty similar. And then in the next video I think I'm going to replica the front page and then just add default text, because instead of just follow my path blah 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 here, I'm going to have like links to admin accounts, I believe, and claim your destiny here. I'm going to have this one, and if I click here, I'm going to have like two buttons. One says like methods, one says like users, and I'm going to feature people here, and I'm not going to develop the footer in the next video, but the video after that I'm going to develop the footer. So yeah, that is basically what I plan to do in this video. I know that I'm not really good at explaining, because I don't really know it that good myself. But bear with me, I'm going to be good one day, and I'm going to create a website one day that teaches you HTML5 and CSS and so on. But I'm still young, I'm only 22 years old, so there's a lot for me to learn before I can get there. But in a few years I'm probably going to be very close to that goal. So I would like to say thank you for watching, and I see you in the next part.